Welcome back. Students of the Junior Achievement Lead Camp 2016 are asking the government, parents and community leaders to pay close attention to how young girls are being treated in and around the country in a bid to protect their rights from being trampled upon. Well, this comes as girls staged a protest in Lagos, singing solidarity songs, calling for a decisive action to tackle the increasing spate of girl-child trafficking in Nigeria. The students say they can no longer sit by and watch their fellow girls around the country continue to experience untold hardship, including forced labor, rape, and in some cases, kidnapping.
Treat our girls well. Recent research has shown that the girl child trafficking is the fastest growing criminal act in Nigeria today and the world at large, immediately after the drug trafficking trade. Is that meant to be so? No! Can't be so? No! What do we need? Change! What do we need? Change! What do we need? Change! Today, the girl child has been trafficked. She is now carried about for prostitution, slavery, and rituals, in fact. We appeal to the government to stand up and join us in this unquenchable quest to eradicate the girl child trafficking in Nigeria, to make Nigeria a better place for girls to strive in. And that is why we stand up today to also appeal to you, the individual. Do yourself and the country a favor. Help those girls who are in your house, those maids in your houses, those slaves on the streets, those female children who have nowhere to go. Yes. Help us and make sure that they stand up from where they are to where they are meant to be. Yes. They deserve better. The girl children deserve better. Yes. Because I believe that the world today is nothing, and I mean nothing, without the girl children. Yes. What do we need? Change! What do we need? Change!
With those strong words, we move on to sports, and here's Ayotunde Balogun.
President of the Nigeria Wrestling Federation, Daniel Igali, says he's cautiously optimistic about the country's chances of winning medals in Rio. 7 wrestlers, 2 males and 5 females, will represent Nigeria in wrestling. But then Igali confirms it will be tough for them at the Games. The Olympic gold medalist agrees the team has quality, but cannot give an assurance on them coming back with medals because of inadequate preparations. He explains that besides Odwayo Adukroy and Blessing Uburududu, the other wrestlers didn't get enough international exposure. The Federation president believes the male wrestlers can put up surprises if they give their best. Nigeria featured at the Grand Prix in Madrid, Spain, winning 1 silver and 2 bronze. Russian track and field athletes will not be able to compete at the Rio 2016 Olympics after the Court of Arbitration for Sport rejected their appeal. Russia's Athletics Federation was suspended by the sports world governing body, the IAAF, after an independent report found evidence of widespread doping. The Russian Olympic Committee and 68 athletes had appealed against that decision, but after hearing evidence from both sides, CAS has now ruled that the ban will stand. Meanwhile, Russia's sports minister Vitaly Motko says CAS ruling is a violation of the rights of the Russian sports people. Motko said in a Russian state television broadcast that this decision has created a precedent of collective responsibility, while athletes who aren't involved in doping are now being punished. He insists that Russia does not accept that there was ever a state-sponsored doping program in the country. And Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt says CAS ruling on Russian ban is a strong message against doping. He believes this will also scare a lot of athletes from using performance-enhancing drugs.
For me, if you have the proof and you catch somebody, I definitely feel that you should take action. And if you feel like banning the whole team is the right action, then I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Because as I said, rules are rules, and the doping violation in track and field is getting really bad. So if you feel like you need to make a statement, and this is how you feel like you need to make a statement, then thumbs up. I always think if you're cheating, I always feel like it's a good message to show that, listen, if you cheat or if you go against the rules, then we're going to take serious action. This will scare a lot of people, or send a strong message to let you know that the sport is serious. We want to clean the sports up. So I definitely think so.
Turkey has been appointed as the new coach of the Spanish national football team, the La Furia Roja. He takes over from Vicente Del Bosque, who resigned following a disappointing Euro 2016 campaign in France. The former Porto head coach will now try to lead Spain to the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, having managed the Spaniards at under-19, under-20 and under-21 levels. And that's a wrap on sports news. I'm Ayo Tunde. Following the news at 10 continues shortly.
It's not over yet in the case concerning South African athlete Oscar Pistorius for murder of his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp. Though the court in Pretoria sentenced him to 6 years in jail, the country's prosecutors argue that the sentence is inappropriate for the crime of murder and was, according to them, shockingly too lenient. Pistorius was initially given a 5-year term for manslaughter, but was found guilty of murder on appeal last December. As for Riva's parents, June and Barry, they released a statement saying they're in full support of their counsel and his team's fight for Riva, but are now focusing their energies on the upcoming official media launch of what would have been Riva's 30th birthday on August the 19th. Now, French prosecutors have found that the man behind the wheels of a truck that rammed into a crowd on Bastille Day had accomplices. Police now have 5 suspects in their custody. One of them had reportedly filmed the scene of the attack the day after. They're all facing terrorism charges for their alleged roles in helping the driver of the truck, a Tunisian living in Nice. The driver had been thought to have acted alone, but the Islamic State had released a statement shortly after the attack, claiming he was one of its soldiers. While investigations continue, the government has also launched an inquiry into police actions in Nice that day, amid claims that there were too few police to block the lorry. And Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan has declared a 3-month state of emergency days after the country experienced a failed coup. The president has promised to cleanse the armed forces of all viruses. A purge has been going on since last Friday, with 50,000 people across all sectors either arrested, suspended or laid off. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari today said the government is in talks with the Niger Delta militants to find a lasting solution to the security situation in the region. The president was speaking when he received the outgoing German ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Michael Zenner. He also said that his administration is studying the instruments of the amnesty program inherited from the previous administration with a view to carrying out commitments that were undelivered. Also today, 2 members of the Federal Executive Council, the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, and her counterpart in the Ministry of Budget and Planning, Udoma, said Nigeria's economy is technically in recession. The ministers who spoke in Abuja, however, said the government is putting in place measures to put the economy back on track. And the French prosecutor handling the Nice attack said 5 suspects who are believed to have provided support to the truck driver are now in police custody. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Do have a good night.